Jesus, I surrender all to Him. I freely give. I will ever love and trust Him, in His presence daily live.
The 2nd of December 1899, Volume 3, Eloquent Praise of the Cross. I was very afflicted about certain things which it is not listed here to say, and lovable Jesus, wanting to relieve me from my affliction, came with an appearance all new. He seemed to be dressed in pale blue, all adorned with tiny little bells of gold, which in touching one another resounded with a sound never before heard. At the appearance of Jesus and at that gracious sound, I felt enchanted and relieved in my affliction, which departed from me like smoke. I would have remained there in silence, so much did I feel the powers of my soul enchanted and stunned, if blessed Jesus had not broken my silence, saying to me, "My beloved daughter, all these little bells are many voices that speak to you of my love and call you to love me. Now let me see how many little bells you have that speak to me of your love and call me to love you." And I, all full of blushing, said to me, "But Lord, what are you saying? I have nothing. I have nothing but defects." And Jesus, compassionating my misery, continued, "You have nothing, it is true. Well then, I want to adorn you with my own little bells, so that you may have many voices to call me and show me your love." So it seemed that he surrounded my waist with a belt adorned with these little bells. After this I remained in silence, and he added, "Today I take pleasure in spending time with you. Tell me something." And I, "You know that all my contentment is in being with you, and in having you I have everything. So in possessing you, it seems I have nothing else to desire or to say." And Jesus, "Let me hear your voice that cheers my hearing. Let us converse together a little. I have spoken to you many times about the cross. Let me hear you speak of the cross." I felt all confused. I did not know what to say. But as he sent me a ray of intellectual light to make him content, I began to say, "My beloved, who can say to you what the cross is? Your mouth alone can speak worthily of the sublimity of the cross. But since you want me to speak, I will do it. The cross, suffered by you, freed me from the slavery of the devil, and espoused me to the divinity with an indissoluble bond. The cross is fecund and gives birth to grace in me. The cross is light. It disillusions me of what is temporal and reveals to me what is eternal. The cross is fire and reduces to ashes all that is not of God, to the point of emptying my heart of the tiniest blade of grass that might be in it. The cross is coin of inestimable value, and if I have, O holy spouse, the fortune of possessing it, I will be enriched with eternal coins, to the point of becoming the richest in paradise, because the currency that circulates in heaven is the cross suffered on earth. The cross, then, makes me know myself. Not only this, but it gives me the knowledge of God. The cross grafts all virtues into me. The cross is the noble pulpit of the uncreated wisdom that teaches me the highest, the finest, and most sublime doctrines. So only the cross will reveal to me the most hidden mysteries, the most secret things, the most perfect perfection, hidden to the most erudite and learned of the world. The cross is like beneficent water that purifies me. Not only this, but it administers to me the nourishment for the virtues. It makes them grow and only then does it leave me, when it brings me back to eternal life. The cross is like celestial dew, which preserves and embellishes for me the beautiful lily of purity. The cross is the nourishment of hope. The cross is the beacon of operating faith. The cross is like hard wood, which preserves the fire of charity, keeping it always lit. The cross is like dry wood, which dispels and puts to flight all the smokes of pride and of vainglory, producing the humble violet of humility in the soul. The cross is the most powerful weapon that offends the demons, and defends me from all of their claws. Therefore the soul who possesses the cross is the envy and admiration of the very angels and saints, and the rage and indignation of the demons. The cross is my paradise on earth, in such a way that if the paradise of the blessed up there is of delights, the paradise down here is of sufferings. The cross is the chain of most pure gold that connects me to you, my highest good, and forms the most intimate union which can possibly be given, to the point of making my being disappear. And it transforms me in you, my beloved, to the point that I feel lost within you, and I live from your very life. After I said this, I don't know whether it is nonsense, my lovable Jesus was all delighted in listening to me, and taking by enthusiasm of love, kissed me all over, and said to me, "Brava, brava, my beloved, you spoke well. My love is fire, but not like the terrestrial fire, which wherever it penetrates renders things sterile and reduces everything to ashes. My fire is fecund, and it renders sterile only that which is not virtue. To all the rest it gives life. It makes beautiful flowers bloom. It makes the most delicious fruits mature, and forms the most delightful celestial garden. The cross is so powerful, and I communicated so much grace to it, as to render it more effective than the very sacraments. And this because in receiving the sacrament of my body, the dispositions and free concourse of the soul are needed in order to receive my graces, and many times these may be lacking, while the cross has the virtue of disposing the soul to grace. End of the reading. The 2nd of December 1910, Volume 10, The Spark of Jesus. Continuing in my usual state, my always lovable Jesus came, and I saw myself like a spark. This spark was going around my dear Jesus, and it would stop now on his head, now in his eyes. It would now enter into his mouth, and now descend inside of him, deep into his innermost adorable heart. Then it would come out and go around, and Jesus would even place it under his feet. And instead of being extinguished at the warmth of his divine souls, it would ignite more. It would come out with greater speed from underneath his feet and would turn around Jesus again. And now it prayed with Jesus, now it loved him, now it repaired him. In sum, it did whatever Jesus was doing. And with Jesus, this spark became immense, embraced everything in the prayer. No one escaped it. It was present in the love of all, and for all it loved, it repaired. It made up for everyone and for everything. Oh, how admirable and unutterable is that which is done with Jesus. I lack the words to be able to put on paper the expressions of love and other things that can be done with Jesus. Obedience would want it so, but the mind goes up high to take the words from Jesus. Then it descends down below, tries to find the expressions, the words of the natural language, but it finds no way out. Therefore I can't. Then my beloved Jesus told me, "My daughter, you are the spark of Jesus. A spark can be anywhere. It can penetrate into anything. It occupies no space. At most it lives up high and wanders around, and it is always delightful." And I, Jesus, a spark is very weak and can easily be extinguished. And if it goes out, there is no way to give it new life. Therefore, poor me, if I arrive at being extinguished. And Jesus, no, the spark of Jesus cannot be extinguished, because its life is nourished by the fire of Jesus, and the sparks which have life from my fire are not subject to death. And if they die within the very fire of Jesus. I have made you the spark so that I may amuse myself more with you, and because of the littleness of the spark, I can use it by making it go around continuously, inside and outside of me, keeping it in whatever part of me I want, in my eyes, in my ears, in my mouth, under my feet, wherever I best please. End of the reading. The 2nd of December, 1922, Volume 15. Jesus places 3 pillars in the soul of Louisa on which he can lean. I was feeling very afflicted because of the privation of my adorable Jesus, and if he makes himself seen at all, he is all taciturn. Then this morning he made himself seen in my interior. Between 2 pillars he was forming a third one between these 2, and he would lean now on one, now on the other, and now on the pillar in the middle, which he was raising. Surprised, I said to him, "My love and my life, when have you put these pillars in my interior? Now you are more comfortable if you are tired. You can lean on them." And he, without listening to me, continued to raise the pillar and kept silent. And I, "But tell me, why don't you want to talk to me? What is the matter? Where have I offended you? Is it perhaps my reluctance in making known the truths you tell me that makes you keep silent in order to punish me? But I promised you that I would not do it any more, and remember, we remained in peace." And Jesus, looking at me and heaving a strong sigh, told me, "My daughter, I am working, enlarging, preparing. And when I work, I do not feel like speaking. First I want to operate and then speak. To your reluctances I pay no heed, because the power of my will that acts in you is so great that it crushes you if you do not do what I want. So much so that after a reluctance of yours, you are forced to run into my arms to tell me, 'Jesus, I pray you to make me do what you want. You want it, I want it.' And you do not let me go unless you see that your will and mine are one. Therefore my silence is work, and so that the work I am doing in you may be more beautiful, more secure, more stable, I put it between 2 pillars, stronger and higher, of which one is my humanity and the other is my mama, and on which only can I lean. But 2 supports are not enough for me. I want a third one. But if I do not form it for myself, how can I have it? So here is the necessity of my work. You will lend me the materials, which are all your acts done in my will. The more you do, the more materials you will lend me, and I will work hard in forming it. Then I will rest and speak to you. Everything that I did and that which my dear Mama did will be connected together in this third pillar. My only purpose, that it may be worked with an eternal will which alone can serve as my support, and that this will may be known. I will put so much grace in it that it will not only give me rest, but will serve me as pulpit, as voice, to teach in the most attractive, penetrating and convincing manners what it means to live in my will, that I may no longer be in the midst of my children like an exiled one, but my will may reign in them as on its own throne. Therefore let me do, and follow me." Then afterwards he came back again and continued to make himself seen in my interior, all intent on working, and we would look at each other in silence. I raised my eyes and I saw the head of our Lord placed at the top of one pillar, and that of the Celestial Queen at the top of the other, both crowned. The third pillar which he was forming was prepared for my head to be placed at the top, and the crown that was to crown it came out, half from the crown of our Lord and half from that of the Most Holy Virgin, and uniting together, these two halves formed one single crown. I remained amazed and enchanted, and my sweet Jesus told me, "My daughter, have you seen how much I have to work to form for myself the third support, and how you must hasten to form the materials so as to let me work, and what height it must reach in order to accomplish the work of my will in you, and what crown must surround your forehead? Therefore do not lose a minute of time, and let your flight in my will be continuous." End of the reading. The 2nd of December 1928, Volume 25. The Eucharistic Tabernacle and the Tabernacle of the Divine Will. The privations of Jesus become longer, and as I see myself without him, I do nothing but long for heaven. O heaven, when will you open your doors to me? When will you have pity on me? When will you retrieve the little exiled one into her fatherland? Ah, yes, only there I will no longer miss my Jesus. Here, if he makes himself seen, while one thinks one possesses him, he escapes like lightning. One has to go a long way without him. And without Jesus, all things convert into sorrow. Even the very holy things, the prayers, the sacraments, are martyrdoms without him. So I thought to myself, what is the use of Jesus permitting my coming near his tabernacle of love for us to remain in mute silence? Rather, it seems to me that he has hidden more, that he no longer gives me his lessons on the divine fiat. It seemed to me that he had his pulpit in the depth of my interior and had always something to say. And now I hear nothing but a profound silence. Only I hear within me the continuous murmuring of the sea of light of the eternal volition that always murmurs love, adoration, glory, and embraces everything and everyone. But while I was thinking of this, my sweet Jesus made himself seen in my interior for just a little and told me, "My daughter, courage. It is I in the depth of your soul who move the waves of the sea of light of my divine will, and I always, always murmur to snatch from my celestial Father the kingdom of my will upon earth. And you do nothing other than follow me. And if you did not follow me, I would do it on my own. But you will not do this, leaving me alone, because my fiat itself keeps you sunken within it. Ah, don't you know that you are in the tabernacle of my divine will? How many works have I not done in you? How many graces have I not poured into you in order to form this tabernacle for myself? A tabernacle, I could call it, unique in the world. In fact, as for Eucharistic tabernacles, I have a good number of them. But in this tabernacle of my divine fiat, I do not feel like a prisoner. I possess the endless expanses of my will. I do not feel alone. I have one who keeps me perennial company. And now I act as a teacher, and now I give you my celestial lessons. Now I do my outpourings of love and sorrow. Now I celebrate, to the point of amusing myself with you. So if I pray, if I suffer, if I cry, and if I celebrate, I am never alone. I have the little daughter of my divine will together with me. And then I have the great honour and the most beautiful conquest that I like the most, which is a human will all sacrificed for me, and as the footstool of my divine will. I will call it my favourite tabernacle, in which I so much delight, that I would not exchange it for the Eucharistic tabernacles, because in them I am alone, nor does the host give me a divine will as I find it in you, such that as it bilocates itself, while I have it within me, I also find it in you. On the other hand, the host is not capable of possessing it, nor does it accompany me in my acts. I'm always alone. Everything is cold around me. The tabernacle, the pyx, the host are without life, and therefore without company. This is why I felt such delight in keeping near my Eucharistic tabernacle, that of my divine will, formed in you, that by merely looking at you, I feel my loneliness broken, and I experience the pure joys that the creature who lets my divine will reign within herself can give me. And so, this is why all my aims, my cares, and my interests are in making my divine will known, and in making it reign in the midst of creatures. Then will each creature be a living tabernacle of mine, not mute, but speaking. And I will no longer be alone, but I will have my perennial company. And with my divine will bilocated in them, I will have my divine company in the creature. So I will have my heaven in each one of them, because the tabernacle of my divine will possesses my heaven on earth. End of the reading. The 2nd of December 1935, Volume 34. How the divine will darts the creature and forms the divine nobility, and acting as actor rends God and the creature inseparable. Example, the Son. My King of love, Jesus, and my Queen, Mama, my Divine One, oh please, braid my will with yours, make of them one alone. Rather enclose me in your hearts, so that I do not write outside of yours, but either inside of the heart of my Jesus or in the bosom of my celestial Mother, such that I can say, it is Jesus who writes, and my Mama who feeds me the words. Therefore you who know my poor state, help me, and give me the grace of conquering the great repugnance that I feel in beginning another volume. I feel the need of being sustained, fortified, and completely renewed by the power of your divine fiat, in order to be able to do your divine will in everything and always. So I felt immersed in the divine volition that took the aspect of actor, in order to be able to enter into the most intimate recesses of my soul and form its operating act in me. I was surprised, and my sweet Jesus, visiting my little soul, all goodness told me. My blessed daughter, when the creature does and lives in the divine will, our Supreme Being continuously darts her with its light. It darts her mind and casts in it the nobility of divine thoughts in a way that she feels in her intelligence, memory, and will, the sanctity, the memory of her Creator, the love, the will of He who, acting as actor, forms in her the divine order and wisdom. Darting her, it casts there with its kisses of light the divine substance in her mind, in the way that everything is noble, everything is holy, everything is sacred in her. This actor of my volition, forming its seat in the created intelligence, with its power and majesty, forms there its image. It darts her heart and forms the nobility of love, of desires, of affections, of heartbeats. It darts her mouth and forms the nobility of words. It darts her works and steps and forms holy works, the nobility of the steps. And not only does it dart her soul, but also her body, and with its light it invests the blood and ennobles it in a way that the creature feels flow in her blood, in her members, the fullness, the sanctity, the substance of the divine nobility. This actor of my divine will takes the office of insuperable craftsman, so as to transform God in the creature and the creature in God. When my will has reached this, it is the greatest act that one can do, that is, to form of God and the creature one single life, rendering them inseparable from each other. It rests in its work, and there it feels such happiness, because it has conquered the creature. It has formed its labour in her, and it has completed its will. Then it seems that it says in the emphasis of its love, I have done everything. Nothing else remains for me other than to possess her and love her. I remained worried in hearing this, and my lovable Jesus added, My daughter, why do you doubt? Does the sun not also do this office? As it darts the flower with its light, so it gives to it the substance of the colour and of the fragrance. As it darts the fruit, so it infuses in it the sweetness and the flavour. As it darts the plants, so it communicates to each one the substance, the effects that are needed. If the sun does this, much more so my divine will that can do everything and knows how to do everything. And as the sun goes finding the seed in order to give what it possesses, so my divine will goes finding the dispositions of creatures who want to live of my will, so that it can immediately dart her and communicate the divine substance and nobility, and form and make grow its life. End of the reading. There are no more readings today. Have a blessed day.